Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with an on-the-fly review for you. And today I'm talking about Birds of Prey, or the fantabulous emancipation of the one Harley Quinn. Or is it Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey? Let's just call it Birds of Prey. This film was released last weekend, directed by Cathy Yan, who I've never heard of, starring Margot Robbie, Ewan McGregor, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Rosie Perez, Chris Messina, and Journey Smollett Bell. Um, this is a spin-off of the Suicide Squad film, part of the DCU, and it's really hard to believe that this takes place in the same universe as Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. This was just a bad movie. It really was. It had just bad action blocking, bad storytelling, unlikable characters. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, this film did not seem to really know where or what its audience was. If you're going to make a movie for young women, like teenage girls and college age girls who are into action movies and comic books, uh, okay, that's fine. But at the same time, this movie also seemed to be very, that's what I'm looking for, very sophomoric, like almost its target was just 12-year-olds in a lot of ways, but with like gruesome violence and bad language. The movie seemed to have a bit of a personality complex, I guess. Uh, but ultimately, what comes down to it, the film's real problem is it's trying damn too hard to be Deadpool. Deadpool is Deadpool. Let Birds of Prey be Birds of Prey. And look, as a lifelong DC kid, I gotta say, I was really disappointed in the lineup. Where the fuck is Batgirl? I mean, they had Cassandra Cain, but that's not the Batgirl everybody cares about. The one everybody loves. We want Barbara Gordon as the Oracle. I mean, if to be faithful, I would have been fine with her as Batgirl putting together her own team, with or without support or even the permission of Bruce Wayne or whatever you want to. The blessing, I guess, is what I was really looking for. I just didn't like the approach to the characters, like from top to bottom. Margot Robbie's fine. Her Harley Quinn is still Harley Quinn, but Harley Quinn's a villain. I didn't really like her. I thought that the whole arc of her becoming a hero, pretty much for no other reason. And at the same time, oh, I'm gonna be a hero now. But at the same time, she's totally like refusing to answer for any of the horrible things. I mean, she's virtually like a serial killer. You know what I mean? She's a monster. She's Harley Quinn. She's a really awful, awful, awful person. Um, thought that was lame. I thought the hyena would have been cool. I liked the hyena in the trailers. One thing I was looking for, and it's really just there. Would have been so much cooler if these five chicks had a fucking hyena with them that's like jumping out guys and fucking ripping out their throats and shit. If you're going through the whole cartoonish approach to violence, why don't you go all the way in? Like I said, Cassandra Cain is just a teenage pickpocket now that virtually has no other personality than just being a kid who doesn't trust anybody. They totally ruined the Black Canary. I mean, look, Black Canary is one of the oldest comic book characters, female comic book superheroes. I think the only one older than her is Wonder Woman, and she's been around for over 70 years, well over 70 years at this point. And to me, I thought it was just downright racist to just say, well, Dinah Lance is a blonde woman in the comics, but the character name is Black Canary, so she has to be black. So and then she's not Dinah Lance anymore. So I mean, they make her basically a stereotypical Pam Grier like character. I have no problem with Pam Grier, but Pam Grier wasn't in a superhero movie. And also at the same time, her just randomly, just she does a canary cry randomly out of nowhere with no hinting that she has a superpower. I was actually getting pissed because so she's just going to be Black Canary in name. Well, she does do the canary cry, but it comes out of absolutely nowhere. and it knocks her out after one usage. That Jean Grey lame ass shit that I always hated in comic books. Talk about that. I always thought that was kind of misogynistic. So a woman can be really really powerful like Jean Grey or Rogue or Sue Storm in the comics, but they use their comic book one time and they pass the fuck out and have to be carried back to base. I thought that was so sexist as a kid, and they apply it here in this movie. That's supposed to be a feminist film. Uh, and then there's that. What's so feminist about this movie? Feminism is based. Representation of feminism in this movie is just women behaving like the worst men in the world. The only real likable character in the Birds of Prey is Montoya, which thank God they finally did right by her after making her a real piece of shit character on the TV show Gotham. Uh, I thought actually Mary Elizabeth Winstead was terrific as Huntress. Damn shame we didn't get more of her in it. She's almost barely in the movie. It's almost like she pops up a few times in the film, and then like literally Harley Quinn goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about this character," and we rush through her background, like well into the second act of the film. Uh, by far the best thing about the film is Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. He's really, really, really is very, very good in the role. And the truth is, Chris Messina as Victor Zsasz, his right hand man, was very. No, he was scary. He was good in it. The villains were the only thing holding this movie together, keeping me interested. They provided the only real sense of tension or even levity to that thing. There are only things in the film that had any kind of that triggered any kind of a response or emotion out of me. The rest of the film was just felt like their dead face waiting for it to do something fun. I thought the action scenes were horribly blocked, horribly choreographed, and I think you should call shit like that. And this isn't the only time DC's had a problem with blocking fucking having bad action choreography. And the whole Arrow TV show has shit action. The Batman trilogy, the Nolan trilogy, shit. Actual fight choreography, absolute dog shit in that movie. Or at least the way it's blocked. You can't see if it is good. You can't tell because of the way they shoot it. And then there's of course the legendary awfulness from the terrible Superman fights from the Christopher Reeve films. So they got a bad reputation for having bad fight scenes in DC. But at the same time, we also have the warehouse fight, so it's not all bad. Anyhow, I'm gonna give this 1 star. I think that between the marketing is trying to say it's the next Captain Marvel or push it like the Charlie's Angels or promoting it as this for its wokeness was not a smart way to do it. To go, they should have hyped the film as Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey from Go, or just call it Birds of Prey. The whole nightmare that made straight up till after the movie comes out, Warner Brothers still doesn't know what they want to call this fucking thing. And of course the really atrociousness of Ewan McGregor's behavior going into this film, going on circuits and talking about how they're smashing the patriarchy and stuff like that, and everyday real world misogyny in this film, when this is a man who cheated on his wife with his co-star shooting this film is gonna dare lecture other people about misogyny. What a prick. Anyhow, I give this movie a star. And it's mainly because the villains are interesting. I did like the color scheme and everything of it. I did think the movie was very colorful. It's nice to look at, even though there's really nothing worth watching. Anyhow, I hope y'all like this review. I actually got to go do stuff. It's a very busy day. This is my day off. I just got a new couch. Cha. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.